Ooh, you didn't skill up the Leo. You should. You definitely should. I don't. Leo is really good, even in RTA. There is no reason for you to not skill this bad boy up. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon, where the link for it is also in the descriptions. I want to say I appreciate all the support, and believe me, I really do. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to an account review in Summoners War. Today we are on Pokemaru92's account. So this account owner wants specifics in multiple areas, mostly in PvP related stuff such as Arena and RTA. I already looked at his account and he does not have a lot of Nat 5s or units in general. It's a pretty limited box compared to the other accounts that we have seen. But I think that it does have potential. It will really depend on his rune quality, but I do think that he could reach a new rank. So let's get in and talk about that. If we look at his record, you can see that he has reached C2 in regular arena, and then he reached C1 in RTA. So that's not a very big gap. And I think that means that he has the rune qualities to reach a higher score in regular arena. But it's the monster box that is kind of his constraining factor. He's been playing for 1,337 days, which is on the lower side compared to the other accounts that we have seen. He's playing in a G1 guild. He's running all the dungeons because he never said anything about that, so there's not much to talk about here. Let's go straight in and look at his box. In his box, you can see that he has some good units, right? He has the Bastet, which is really good for a Lucian team, which I hope that he has of some sort if he's ever running it. He has the Pungbek, he has the Leo, so that's great as well. So we see a team, right, that he could draft upon. He has the Masha, which is very good in RTA these days. He's building his second Verd, and the reason why you'll build a second Verd is probably you either want to use it in Siege or you want to run a Swift Verd team, because the second Verd will be the triple revenge Verd, the first Verd will be a Swift Verd. If you look at this box here, he has the Moor. He does have the BGR5 going, so that's really great. He has Juno, he has Changpeng, he has Riley, but he does not have a Tiana, and he did say that he is trying to get her. And if he does, I'm pretty sure he wants to run that Changpeng, Tiana, Galleon, Pungbek team that I love to run. But yeah, not a whole lot of units overall. He also has some Nat 5s here that aren't built. And I would argue that these two Nat 5s are really great. I want to believe maybe he does not have the Devilmons to be building multiple units. I still build them because there isn't a lot of things for me to do other than farming right now due to the abundance of my box. But I totally understand not building certain units when you don't have the skill ups for it, because I wouldn't even think of using units that are not scaled up. Let's take a look at his storage, his Angelmon storage, because I do want to verify if he has any Devilmons stored. He has 29. So that kind of contradicts what I just said. He has a lot of Devilmons. I don't know why he's saving it off. I actually didn't look at the skill ups on all the other units, but I am pretty sure they are mostly max skilled, and yeah, they are. So ooh, you didn't skill up the Leo. You should. You definitely should. Leo is really good, even in RTA. There is no reason for you to not skill this bad boy up. So I hope this is like your number one unit that you'll finish scaling up. He takes 9, which is not a lot compared to many other Nat 5s. So you'll still have 20 left, and you could think about those later. Let's take a look at his runes. So I don't know if he took his event runes, but let's take a look at Swift first. So Swift 23 slot 1. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know why you're not giving this grind. I'm hoping that maybe you pulled this recently because that's an awesome upgrade, right? That's 4 speed faster than your fastest slot 1. 27 is no joke, so that's awesome. Another 27 on slot 3 at 26. Awesome runes. I think your slot 3 is stronger than mine. Slot 4 at 25, another 25, and then a 24. Your slot 5 at 20, so that's a 24. Again, a rune that I'll definitely grind. A 20, and then a 16. So slot 5 definitely the weakest slot here. And then a 28 slot 6, and then another, oh, I thought that was 28. Tricked me there. Another 22, and then a 17. So slot 6 is also pretty weak. Probably a good candidate, although I don't really like to go for it. But if you are a speed chaser, a nice candidate to go for in the event rune. Let's take a look at Violent. 22 slot 1, and then 20. Again, it could be 24, which would be faster than your fastest slot 1 rune. I don't know why you're not grinding these runes, but you should start grinding them. It's the very beginning of improving your account, so work on it. Slot 3 is 23, and then 21. Another 24 right there. Again, fastest rune. I have no clue why you're holding this off. Makes no sense. If you have to, just farm more BGR5, because you should be perfecting the runes that you currently have. I mean, it's better to eat what you have in your plate right now than hoping to get a better meal when you're hungry. Slot 4 is a 21. I'll definitely grind this. What are you doing? I saw you had the grinds. I saw you had these. Grind your runes. That's the start. That's the very beginning. 29. Okay, I'll plus 15 this for sure. Then 24, 19, another 23 rune that you can make. Then slot 6 is 26, 21, 20. Overall, I think your slot 4 and 6s aren't that bad. I mean, if you want another fast rune, yeah, it's not a bad idea to go for it. Maybe you want a fast crit damage rune because the fast is 20, but 20 is still not that bad because it's a crit damage rune. I don't think it's that important to get your damage dealers like super duper fast. Although in G3, yeah, it's kind of common to see damage dealers on 260 or 270 speed. I think that's far from your goal right now. So I wouldn't say that these are nice candidates, but it's always good to have more. Will, slot 1 at 24 at 18, so definitely weakest slot 1 that we've seen. Then a 19, wow, so your will runes are much worse than any other stats that we've just seen. They're much slower, you have a lot less of them, and also the efficiency looks like it's much lower. So if you do want to improve in a certain set, it'll definitely be your will set. Work on your MB12, and it's also a very crucial set that you use a lot in PvP in general, right? In regular arena, if you're going a second turn team, you want a lot of will sets. Same with RTA. Even if you're going fast, if they cut out speed, you would want will, and if you're going second turn, you definitely want will. Definitely, will runes are a set that you would want to improve. Now let's take a look at his regular arena and see what he's doing for defense. Wow. So this kind of defense only works if it's not cleavable, but it looks super duper cleavable. Unless you're Triana and maybe Josephine's on 100 res. Hoping that you don't get reset by the Chung Pong. Wow. That's crazy that you're using this kind of defense. The runes aren't that even great. I know that your box is limited, and that's probably the main reason why you're running a defense like this. And I'm looking at it right now, and it definitely looks like you don't have much. Oh, you pulled the Han recently. I just saw that. Awesome unit. Hope you get it fully skilled up. Build it up. Don't use Devilmons because there are 4-star counterparts. Okay, I would run something with the Moore. Yes, Moore is only a 22 speed lead, but he's still pretty good because he has that passive. Even if the opponent moves first, there is a chance that the Moore gets to move unless he gets reset. And then you have the Darien that is not 2-8, so he's not going to be much of a help. I would run this, and I'll also run the Triana like you did. So that's a start, but I would change the Triana build to be really tanky because right now it's too squishy. Plus on 100 resistance. That's the minimum requirement that I would put the Triana on. This guy will be on Despair like you have him right now, but it looks a little too slow. If you can make him faster, that's what I will do. You had a lot of fast runes, and I believe you could make him much faster. We did not take a look at his Despair rune quality, but hoping that it's on par with Swift, because if you want to get Swift runes, you have to be farming GB12, which gives you Despair runes. And seeing his rune quality in Swift, I'll be surprised if his Despair runes are not as high. And then you could put in maybe a double will Nemesis healer, or you could put in the Riley. That'll also be very tanky, but here the Riley will also need to be on 100 res, right? I think maybe Violent Revenge might be a good one too. Just forget about will, or is it too vulnerable of a reset? Because it looks really easy to cleave with Chung Pung Pung Baek offense, but we have to hope that not everybody has them. Just make sure it's Lucian proof. And what would you do to ensure that for the last unit? And that's the hard part, right? Juno could be good, or even the Antares could scare some people off. Most of these Lucian offenses don't have will, and it has to go at least 2 turns before the Lucian moves. Just hope your luck on RNG, and then if Antares proc in the middle, he's on a Despair build. If he gets a lucky stun, you get the win. That might work. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's going to work much better than your current defense. I'll just run something like this. It's not the best, but there is the aspect of RNG. It does kind of block Lucian teams. Still really weak against Chung Pung Pung Baek, but Antares is that factor, that RNG factor that maybe can sneak you a win. Right now your defense rate is 4%, and I believe it will do much better. So, look at the offense. So you're running a fast offense with the Megan. Well, so this is to go against the Leo Lucifer teams. I get it. Okay, that's fine. You have a Leo with this team, which I don't like at all. So I know you said you'll try making you're in the process of making a Cocky and skilling it up. Right now it's not going to work, obviously, because there's no skill ups, and skill ups are pretty crucial because you get so much more damage on skill 1 and skill 2 from it. So I won't recommend you to use the Cocky before that is done. But where is your Galleon? I'm blind, right? Your Galleon has to be here. Oh, there you go. So the most common offense that I see right now is probably this. However, I am going to give you a recommendation on why I would rather build a Linda and use that other than the Pung Baek right now. Because most of the time that you're going to take in the second turn team is against fast teams. And the fast team that I'm talking about is the Samath Clara, Samath Triton, Cocky Savannah, or Savannah Nana, Cocky Nana. That variation. The problem is that Pung Baek is wind attribute. What is the condition for this offense to lose? The condition, obviously, one is that the Triton strips or the Clara strip stuns, and then your turner is all jacked up. They all get their debuffs, defense breaks, and then your team gets wiped. Yes, that is one losing condition, but that will also lose even if you have the Linda. The second losing condition is, let's say they don't get the strip, you actually got the pushback. Now their damage dealers are going to move, meaning the Cocky is going to move, the Savannah is going to move, and the Samath is going to move. So if the Cocky goes for skill 2, as a result, your Pung Baek is probably going to be the unit with the lowest HP. That's just because the Pung Baek is focused more on damage, and it's inevitable, right? It's the way you build the unit. You want him to hit hard, so you can't give him much tanky stats. So here, if the Cocky procs, and there is a very good chance that it will proc, and most to all Cockies on defense are on Violent, it's probably going to go for the Pung Baek, because that's the lowest HP, it's a wind element, and by that time, I'm pretty sure your Pung Baek will die. Especially after the Savannah damage and after the Samath damage, it'll just be too much. But for Linda, it's a little different story. Linda is a light attribute, and let's say Cocky goes for skill 2 and procs, will it go for the Linda? Probably not. Assuming that the HP is like still in the 20-30% due to AI, it's gonna go for the Leo or the Delphoid. And then your damage dealer is still alive, and you just hope that it's tanky enough, and it should be tanky enough to tank the Savannah skill 3 or whatever, and then the Samash skill 1 or skill 2, and then your Linda still gets to move. Yes, their skill 3 and Pungback skill 3 have similar effects, but Linda overall is a little better. Yes, the multipliers are lower, but it blocks revives on every unit that dies from skill 3. While as the Pungback, only the first unit that dies does not get revived, and everybody comes back if they do revive. So because of those reasons, I would rather build the Linda here and use her. I don't know how many Light and Dark scrolls you have popped. I don't know if you have her, but if you do, it's probably the best alternative that you have. Right now it looks like you don't have her, so that kind of sucks. But if you do get her, that would be a good unit. Or if you get another AoE damage dealer such as Christina, which in your state you shouldn't be sad about. It should be a yes, I got Christina, because it'll be an awesome addition to your AO, or even the Bale, or any of the units that I showcased in my second turn tier list. Okay, so you have that offense. I talked a lot about it, but you wanted me to focus on it, so there you go. Also, the fast one, yes, here, the only thing you'll replace will be these two units with the Tiana Galleon, if you get the Tiana. Right now, I see what you're trying to do, but this strip is not like super guaranteed. And also, if they're not really closely speed tuned, which they are, so that's great. That's actually really good. So the Gemini will go, the Bastet will boost, and then the pushback, and then the cleave. So I'm hoping that this works pretty well. However, again, it's not a guarantee strip like the Tiana. The higher you go up, you're gonna meet more defenses that are tanky, that are on 100 resistance, and I am pretty sure the Gemini will fail. Whereas the Tiana is a guaranteed strip, right? And as you go up higher in these ranks, you want less conditions. The problem with this offense is that there's too many conditions, right? There's the condition with the Gemini needing to strip and then defense break, and then the pushback goes in, and then the cleave. Whereas the Tiana, the strip is guaranteed, so one condition is gone. Now you just have to hope that you're gonna land your defense break and then the pushback and the cleave. It might not seem like much, but getting rid of that one additional condition, it's a lot, because due to that one condition, many offenses fail. Okay, but that's all I have to say. There isn't much that I could say after that. Yes, you do have a Lucian team. I've seen a lot of these Lucian teams. I don't know how this actually works with the Leo. So I guess you push back their attack bar booster, and then you're hoping that your Bastet moves. I guess it's kind of similar. So it is a good offense. Maybe I should build one, because I'm not using my Kaki right now. But I think it's a good offense. It should work in a lot of cases as well. But that is about it. Now RTA, you ended C1 with the 51% win rate, which kind of means that you're in the right spot. I don't know what kind of team you have ran. You're currently playing Special League, I heard. So I don't know if the builds are correct. And what you said is that you want to try out a Swift Vert team for the next season. And I know that you have some of the units, because I did see them more. If I could freaking find it. Yeah, I did see them more. I saw the Vert. I saw the Chung Pong, right? So those are the 3 core units. Now you need some follow-up. And you do have one. You have the Teor. But the problem is, do you have another unit? Because RTAs, you pick out 5 units, right? And sadly, I don't see something good. Well, you do have the Han. Han could be a good nuke if you could maybe add him in, but the Swift Vert team then will be a single nuke, so you'll be getting rid of a core unit and then hope that you could get enough turn cycling. Let's assume that your Vert gets banned. I think it still could work. It could be a good incorporation, but I still think you need a couple more than just that, like 2 or 3 more. You do have the Barbara. It could be a good addition there. You don't have Jogan. You don't have Charlotte. I personally think right now you are fit for a second turn team as well, because you do have Leo. And you also have, Triple Revenge Vert. You also have the Riley build. You have the Antares build. And you have the Masha, so it does go well against the Oliver teams. in my opinion, you definitely learn a lot more playing second turn than playing a first turn team in RTA. It's just you're learning how the pick and ban goes. You learn how to counter things. The first turn team stuff, you kind of could see where your rune limit is, because you can only go so far with your team with the current runes that you have, and that applies to me as well. I definitely know that I can't go over C3 with my Swift Vert team. It's just not going to work. So for next season, I'm not even going to use the Swift Vert team. And I would advise the same for you. If you want to know where your runes could take you right now, and I think your runes are pretty good for the amount of days you've played. You definitely have one really fast runes on each set other than Will, although I only saw 3 sets, but the 2 sets that I saw were the most important sets. So I think you have a good set, but the problem is in RTA you're runing more than 1 unit, and you really have to put your speed on equal grounds, almost close to that, because everything needs to be speed tuned. In the end, you'll need an abundance of those runes, and you'll get to know from that abundance how many units that you can rune up, and then also look at how many units you have for that specific team. When all those come together, you'll definitely know what kind of team you'll run and how far you could go. Aside from rune quality, I think your box fits more of a second turn team. You don't have a 33 speed lead. You don't have multiple speed leads at all, right? You have 1 speed lead here, and I think that's about it. I didn't see a Samath, I didn't see a Vanessa. So you only have 1 speed lead, so it's going to be almost impossible for you to contest speed, which will be extremely difficult as you start climbing, because there actually are more people that brings out a first turn team rather than a second turn team, just because the Oliver is so strong. But that's just my opinion. If you want to learn more, try a second turn team, learn how to counter stuff, learn how to pick and ban. And for a first turn team, you're definitely learning the limit of your runes. So if you don't know that yet, and if you really want to check that out with this new team, go for it. But that was it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything else that you guys want to tell this account owner, please put a comment below, because I'm pretty sure that he would appreciate it. Thank you for letting me look at this account. If you don't agree with any of the comments I've made, please put a comment below. I will agree or disagree. But again, I am not the expert of this game. I am not the only expert, or nor do I think I'm an expert. I'm still definitely a learner. So this review is just a sole opinion of myself. And it is totally fine for you to agree or disagree. But if you do disagree and give me your thoughts, you have to understand that it's totally understandable for me to disagree upon that as well. But that was it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.